Hi, and welcome to More Human, More Resources, the HR podcast for entrepreneurs. I'm Vicki Brown, your host and CEO of Vidamaneo Enterprises. As a serial entrepreneur, I understand that having the right expert help has been critical to my success. That's why I'm dedicated to telling you, in plain language, what's going on in the world of HR that might impact your business and what you need to do about it, with real actionable tips to help you master that list of must-dos and grow your leadership muscle. First things first, the information contained in this podcast is provided for general purposes only and is not to be considered legal advice. Your decision to adopt or not adopt any practice or procedure mentioned in this podcast is solely yours, and we bear no responsibility for the outcome. We urge you to always consult legal counsel and other appropriate licensed professionals. And with that, let's get into the show. You're listening to Season 3, Episode 22. You know, we've talked a couple of times about how you can develop a great company culture, but recently I was talking with a client about culture. And I was stunned to hear her ideas about what culture is and how you get a great one. So, just to help us all get on a level playing field, I thought I'd debunk the top 10 myths about company culture. First of all, it's not about just perks and benefits. Now, of course, both perks and benefits can add to a positive environment, but you can throw all the foosball tables and 5 p.m. open beer fridge Fridays at your team that you want. And while they may have a good time, oh, and by the way, the open beer fridge thing, well, just no. Anyway, while they may have a good time, you'll find that good time is fleeting. It's a transitory thing of the moment. It won't fix a bad culture. That's because company culture goes much deeper than a surface good time. It's about your values, beliefs, and the behaviors that define how you show up in your world. And are your team members aligned with those values and beliefs? You see, a huge part of culture is walking the talk. So if there's friction between what you say about how the company behaves and what actually goes on in the day-to-day, well then that's going to have a huge negative impact on culture. Another big culture myth is that responsibility for creating and maintaining a good culture, well, that's the responsibility of HR or the CEO or the leadership team. When actually, it's the responsibility and accountability of everyone. That's right. Every single one of your team members is responsible for creating and maintaining a great culture. And by the way, that includes you. Everyone has to be held accountable by everyone else to uphold the company's values, beliefs, and practices. Again, it's in the doing. What happens every day? That's what matters. Now, here's one just for my CEO friends. You read a great book or attended a moving seminar on culture, and you decide, that's for me. I'm going back to my team, putting all these techniques in place, and our culture will be top-notch. In fact, we'll be ready to apply for Best Workplace Award in just a few weeks. No, you won't. Well, that is unless you were ready to apply before. Listen, you just can't build a strong culture overnight or in a couple of weeks. It takes time, effort, and consistent reinforcement. After all, we're dealing with people's behaviors, and you know it takes more than a minute to break someone of bad habits and replace them with good habits. You're going to have to be dedicated and be able to adapt as the company grows and evolves. So you say, all right, I can't grow a stellar culture overnight. How about this? How about I look at the culture of company XYZ and do everything they're doing? Basically, I'll just co-opt their culture. After all, if it's good enough for them. Okay, well, not so fast. Trying to copy company culture is like trying to copy someone's retina scan. In both cases, there are so many variables that impact the final product, you can't account for everything. You're far better off doing everything you can to learn from successful companies. What strategies are they using? What roadblocks have they run into? Then use that information to adapt a solution for your team. Every company will have a unique set of values, goals, and even employees. The culture has to reflect those distinctions. Oh, I bet you've heard this one. What's the big deal about culture? It won't really impact the bottom line. Well, that's where you're wrong, my friend. A strong company culture can improve employee retention and attract top talent. And in this of all talent markets, aren't we all looking for that nonstop? Having the right people in the right seats and keeping them there for a minute, well, that will absolutely contribute to better financial performance. This is one of my favorites. Let's just do this thing. I did it at my last job and it worked perfectly. Sorry, there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach that's going to work for building culture. Again, different industries, company sizes, employee demographics, they all require a tailored approach. So forget the overalls and think haute couture. A great culture is all about the office environment. Translation? Beautiful offices equal great culture. Well, again, not quite. Sure, a beautiful and comfortable workspace can certainly make you feel better, but culture goes deeper. What about the leadership style, communication, policies, and interpersonal interactions? If you don't address all those, the pretty office is just that, and nothing more. Now, here's a huge myth. A strong culture means no conflicts or problems. I'm afraid not. Don't forget, we're still dealing with humans here, so disagreements and challenges are a natural part of the soup. That's why a strong culture has to promote open communication, effective conflict resolution, and continuous learning and improvement. Sound familiar? And here's one for all us boutique organizations. Company culture is only important for large organizations. Now, while number one, that's simply not true. In fact, company culture can really be a game changer for smaller companies. It will help you get great talent and go miles in creating a differentiator for your company. In short, a great company culture helps you stand out with both candidates and clients. And finally, great culture is a guarantee of success. Nope. I'm afraid it's not that easy. Great company culture is only one of a number of factors that influence success. You can't forget things like strategy, execution, and innovation. But I will tell you this. While a great culture won't guarantee success, a bad one will definitely impede it. If you found this information helpful, please leave a review and tell a friend. Thanks for spending the time. Until next week, same time, same place.